Hello, welcome to Yellow Dirt Urban Homestead. I am Asia and I'm an urban gardener growing in a small space in my backyard. Tonight, we are putting the peppers to bed. We're going to take out all of the peppers that we have in all of our pepper containers, and then we are going to be done growing pepper seedlings for this year. All right, so what do we have? And a few of them are looking pretty sad because they should have been taken out quite a while ago. So we have some orange lunchbox peppers. We only have 2 of those. Pimento peppers, we don't need any more of those. Golden Marconi, we don't need any more of those. What else do we have growing in here? We have, I think this is a shishito pepper. We're gonna let that go. 2 shishito peppers and a grand bale. So we're gonna take out what we need and the rest of them, we're gonna let them go. I believe we have leeks that probably have been wrapped up way too long. And then we had orange lunchbox peppers, but they didn't actually sprout in here for whatever reason. So we're gonna put the leeks back under the light, not closed off anymore. And we're gonna go ahead and plant these up. I'm gonna set some lights up. It seems to be very dark down here. And then we're gonna get this done. We need to go put some water in that because I haven't been watering it. There are no seedlings in it, so I'm gonna put some water in that. We are going to reset this container. I plan to start calendula tonight. Calendula is a cooler season flower. It can survive all the way through summer, but it also can survive in cool weather. So we're gonna start calendula, and I'm gonna use the same container. So we're pulling out all of our peppers that we decided we weren't gonna keep because, you know, we're not keeping stuff we don't need this year. Well, not a lot of it. I'm definitely keeping things I don't need because it's just who I am. We're trying not to keep too much of what we don't need. So in total, I'm getting rid of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little pepper seedlings. All right, so what calendula am I growing this year? I am growing Snow Princess. I'm also growing, it's almost time to reset this bag because March will be here in a little while. You know, I set my bag up for what needs to be grown in that month. That way I don't have to go through my seed container to get the seeds. I know what I'm supposed to be growing in the month. I am also growing Pink Sunrise, and I'm growing Strawberry Blonde. Calendula are very good medicinal plants, like for your skin. You can also make tea. I've never made tea. I have made salve for my skin. So basically, we have our container, same container that we just took some peppers out of. We're gonna make our labels. I'm gonna plant right back into this. If your soil is dry, of course you wanna go ahead and moisten your soil. Mine isn't dry because I've had it wrapped in saran wrap because peppers like moisture and they like warmth, a lot of warmth to germinate. So I'm actually gonna plant up both of these. I want a lot of calendula. And by the time it's time for me to use these again, and I may have to up on the soil, I may have to put different soil in here. Only time will tell. I want way more of the Snow Princess than anything else. They are so pretty. And they make really big flowers. That is what I'm gonna do. So let's see what calendula seeds look like. They actually look like some little animal. Let's see. Oh, drop some. It looks like a little worm. So we're gonna plant those out tonight. I'm gonna take out some of the dividers because we really don't need them. I'm gonna do one tray full of these, and then the other tray half and half of the pink sunrise and the strawberry blonde. And so these are the labels that were separating them. I'm just gonna use it to make my labels for these calendula, and I will need way more if I choose to label them out in the garden. I probably won't. Snow Princess calendula. Oh. I write on myself every time. It's two-sided. So many seeds. Hey y'all, so cutting in before this part starts. I had no idea how dry the bottom part of my face was in this video. So, and then I have that really good camera. So it is showing, but yeah, it's just very dry facial skin. Oh, it is what it is. Hey y'all, we are out in the greenhouse. I hope it is not a lot of noise. We'll see once I go to edit this. But we're in the greenhouse because it is raining. But I have to get my potatoes planted out, my carrots planted out, and my turnips planted out. Lucky for me, the potatoes and the carrots are going in bags. I will only have a little bit of time out in the garden in the rain planting out the turnips. But I'm going to show you how I refresh my bags, how I plant out my potatoes, what I do to amend my bags, all of that stuff on this video. And that's why I decided to get a folding chair, because when I need more space in here, I can have more space, and then I can still put my little sitting area back down for me to sit and relax. What goes in my bag depends on what I'm planting. And today, because I am planting root vegetables, I'm going to use bone meal. And so that's a bone meal option. That's by Burpees. It is organic. It is a powder. There is another bone meal option. It is by True Organic. And this is a pelleted bone meal. Bone meal is good for phosphorus, I'm pretty sure of. I get my peas mixed up. But I'm pretty sure it is, yes, it's high in phosphorus. And this bone meal actually says it is an even mix of nitrogen, phosphorus, and calcium. Not picky about my bone meals, not picky about my fertilizers. I use what I can. Another thing I'm gonna put in is some kind of organic granulated fertilizer. This is by Espoma. It's an organic garden tone. Good for all vegetables. If I happen to run out of that, I'm gonna use this all-purpose granulated fertilizer. And this is where you're gonna get your NP and K from. And then I have some of the Dr. Earth left that someone sent me. Now that I'm refreshing my bags, and this is actually my first year refreshing my bags, leaving the soil in and just refreshing the soil, but I feel like it's the same thing as if I refresh the soil in my garden bed. I don't take all the soil out. Someone did mention like the salt buildup. I do see a little bit of green on these bags, so that is what, algae, I guess. But we're gonna see what it do this year. And so I am gonna take a little bit of the old soil out, and if I didn't have these extra bags that a viewer sent me, I would throw it into the compost pile and let it work with the compost that I already have going. But because I need to use these bags because I'm going to grow in them this year, whatever I take out, I'm going to put into the bottom of the new bags. Let's get into it. I'm planting potatoes today. I think I said that. I'm planting carrots today, and I'm planting turnips. But in the bags are carrots and potatoes. I always have a good, harvest out of growing potatoes in bags. I tried to grow it in the ground last year, I think. but something was eating them. So bags it is. I am going to plant 6 bags of potatoes today, and then as the season goes on, I'm going to continue to plant potatoes so that I can get a second harvest, third harvest out of the potatoes, because potatoes will grow all the way up through fall. That is called succession sowing. You grow some of the vegetable, you know, 1 week, wait 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and sow the vegetable again, and that way you'll have a continuous harvest and it won't all come to harvest at the same time. I'm also going to put some compost in this. I completely forgot about that, and if my wheelbarrow was working, it would be so much better, or if I had went and purchased a wheelbarrow like I said I was, it would be so much better. But I'm doing it the same way that I did with the beds, and I'm just kind of hauling it in a bucket. It'll work. So let's go ahead and clean these bags up and refresh them. So these are the bags that I use. They are fabric pots. You get 8 in a pack, but you can get larger packs than that. I really like them. They're 7-gallon grow bags. They do have handles, and they do come with labels. Come folded up. You just unfold them. There are the labels in the inside. Just open it up, push the bottom out, and you have a grow bag. Woohoo! I'm excited. So this bag is pretty gross. Lots of weeds in it. So of course we're gonna go ahead and pull all the weeds out. There's some leaves in there, which is fine. I'm not tripping too much about that. Anything that's left from the previous year, go ahead and pull that out, of course. Those roots had pretty much started to break down. So that's all the roots that were left, but this whole bag was full of roots. So we're gonna go ahead and move it around. It is pretty dry. So we're gonna move it around, mix it up. This bag wasn't all the way full, so I'm not gonna take any of this soil out. I don't always fill mine up to the top, so that's another thing. But you can see where the roots have started to break down in this bag, and I'm gonna leave them. That's organic matter, but I'm just gonna move the soil around a little bit, and then yeah, just move it around so that you don't have lumps. You want your things to be able to grow. I'm gonna go ahead and grab some of my organic fertilizer. This is a granulated one, and I'm just gonna throw it on in there. I do about 2 handfuls. You have to remember that whatever you give this bag is the only thing your plants are gonna have. So you will more than likely have to fertilize again throughout the season, but I start out with a pretty nice amount of fertilizer in my bag. So we're gonna mix that up. And then I'm gonna throw a little bit of bone meal in there. Mix that up as well. And then we're gonna throw some of our compost in here. And you don't have to have a lot, just a little bit of more organic matter in your bag. If there's any rocks or anything, you know, when you're starting your own, just pull them out. I have my potatoes from last year that I grew, the smaller ones. So that's one, and it has chitted. That's what they mean when they say chit. It just starts to sprout. And that's where your potato is going to start to grow. This is where your greenery is going to come from to get up to the soil so you can get light and so your potato can continue to grow. So if you wanted, you could cut off each one of these sprouts and plant them into the bag, but you can also just leave it whole. But this is where your potato plant is going to grow from, so that's totally up to you. I would say, and I haven't always done this, so I'm not going to say that I have, but I would say it's a good idea to let them scab over, because they can rot. They don't always rot, but they can rot. So if you cut it, just let the potato flesh that's in the inside scab over, get hard, so that you can avoid rotting and avoid not getting a harvest. So I'm gonna put 4 potatoes in this bag. You can layer them, or you can put them all on the same layer. I've had success doing it either way. So I'm just gonna dig down and drop my potato in. Add another one there. Dig down over here Drop my potato in. It's a much smaller one, but it's sprouted, so I should be fine. Drop that in, and then I'm gonna do one right in the middle. And just like that, my bag has been refreshed and I will be ready to grow potatoes. So you can mulch this bag as well because it is early in the season for me. So I will probably mulch this bag with some leaves just to ensure that if it gets cold or if the bag gets too wet, that I can possibly avoid these potatoes rotting in the bag. Also, if it gets down to a ridiculous freeze and I already have greenery, I already have the plant growing, I'll take these bags in the house. So I'm gonna do 6 of these bags today of potatoes. I have the purple or blue potatoes still in the house, so I'll put those out probably in the next 2 weeks, and then I'm also gonna get a few more from my local feed and seed store because I'm hoping for a very large potato harvest this year. I'm also hoping that I can control myself and not pull them too early. And just like that, we have plotted up 6 bags of potatoes, and lucky for me, it is raining, so I don't even have to water these in. You would want to water these in if it was not raining in your area before you put them out. They do need the moisture in order to sprout, just like seeds. So I'm gonna put these out, and then we're gonna plant out these carrots, y'all. So the last thing we're gonna plant inside the greenhouse are the carrots. I got these carrots from my local feed and seed store. They were 85 cents. This whole pack was 85 cents from a local feed and seed store. So if you have one, just stop in and see. I know the garden catalogs and things, they look so pretty, but if you're not looking for anything specific or anything, you know, different, you can get those seeds from a local feed and seed store for much cheaper than the $2 to $3 packs, maybe even $1.99 packs that you can get from, you know, the big box stores or out of the catalogs. But that's just a little bit of a tip for you. Because I do go there for the things that's not fancy, and I think it's a good idea. So carrot seeds, let's talk about carrot seeds. I used to have such a hard time getting carrot seeds to germinate, to get carrots to grow. I've had my best luck growing carrots in a grow bag, and you don't want to bury carrots too deep. They have to stay moist. Lucky for me today, it is raining, and now after the rain stops and it warms back up, which it will do next week here, I have to remember to come out and water them. But I had so much success growing these in bags last year, and I think that's going to be my go-to from here on out. And so carrots are cold hardy, like they can survive in the cold. The greenery may die back, but the carrots will still live once they've grown. I'm not going to do the bag much different. The only difference that I'm going to do with these bags is I'm going to mix the compost in because my compost is not 100% done, but it is fine to grow in. My onions are growing in it. My garlic is growing in it, and so it's fine to grow in. I just don't want it to impede on the seeds germinating and getting up to the sun. So with this, I'm going to throw in the bone meal. I'm going to throw in the fertilizer, the organic fertilizer, and then I'm just going to actually mix in as opposed to top dressing these bags. So this bag had a bunch of weeds in it too. Let's put it over here. I want to be able to actually walk and sit on my carpet, so I don't want to throw it on the ground. Although I did get some dirt on there, so it is what it is. All right, let's see. There's a root, but not a lot of roots. So go ahead and mix it up. See where I said the soil is very dry, but it's raining, so we're good. I have a little mycorrhizal fungi growing in there. That's good to see. It's like your soil's natural web of goodness. You should look it up. That was an awful way to explain it. But look it up, it's good. So I'm just gonna do a small indentation in the bag. This is where I'm gonna drop the seeds in. I'm not going to try to do one seed at a spot. I'm just going to kind of surface sow And then I'm gonna wipe it over gently. Now these bags I am gonna water just because of the way that carrots grow. And I need to make sure they stay wet. Oh no! I completely forgot to put my fertilizer in here and my bone meal. So this will be a test bag because at this point, if I move those seeds, there's no telling if I'll get any. I always have the option to, once they start to grow, once they start to pop up, I can fertilize from the top, but I'll show you the correct way on the next bag. And just like that, I've planted my carrots out. I'm gonna put them out in the garden. We're gonna have to wait on the turnip planting. There is no way I can record in this rain. When I say wait, I will show you once they start to grow, because I still do plan to plant them. I just don't have the option to record it today. Before we go, just wanna give you a look at the vegetables that's out in the greenhouse. So this is a red romaine. This is the marvel of 4 seasons. I let it get dry, so I just watered it. It'll come back. So that's the marvel of 4 seasons lettuce. This is a leaf lettuce. I cannot think of the name. Let's see if we can find the tag. There was a tag. I don't know where the tag went, but that's a lettuce. Looking good. These are my cold hardy. That's bok choy. They look really good. And then there's cabbage and broccoli back there. Swiss chard. We lost a few in a very cold snap, but there's still some there. One back there. This is another lettuce. This is a bib lettuce. So that must be maybe a butter crunch. Not sure. And then we have our onions. And this is a few leeks that came up. And there are our shallots. So on Sunday of this week, I will start hardening those off because I plan to plant those out next week. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Don't forget to visit me over on Instagram where I post about the things going on in the garden almost every day. Bye, y'all.